Hey, it's your guy Tyrrell back with the interviews. New England, TFC. TFC need to win a game, and would they be able to do it in a tough environment in New England? They've struggled there in the past, but they need 3 points now. How would they do it? Would they be able to do it? Don't worry, here at the interviews, we've got you covered. So on this edition of the interviews, I'm going to briefly break down the New England Revolution against TFC. TFC New England Revolution, TFC needing a win to move up the table in the Eastern Conference of MLS. When we look at it, they have to go to a tough ground they struggle at in New England. We look at the board, we got TFC in the red, we got New England in the blue, TFC in a 4-4-2, Ricketts and Hamilton up front, they had Osorio and Chapman on the flanks, and in midfield, Delgado and Akeche. New England 4-2-3-1, Budbury up front ahead of Fagundes. On the flanks, it was Panilla, and it was Rowan. In midfield, it was Casado, and it was Caldwell. What went right, what went wrong? Sometimes in this game, it's just simplistic approaches that are executed to the highest order, and that's what happened here. From the offset, you knew TFC were going to struggle. You knew they were going to attack Bradley and Hernandez, not your center back partnership that you want up front. And when you think about all of that, defense, you need some familiarity. You need to put something together. The left back, the right back, all of them together, they need to play games together to have that understanding of when to push the line up front, when to press, when to sit deeper, and it was exposed here. Just simple pressing for the first 20 minutes, and New England could have been up by a few goals, possibly 4 or 5. What did they do? One Bunbury up there, Fagundes pressing here, just kind of stifling TFC in. They know they like to play the ball at the back, and however, TFC were refusing to do that. They were refusing to punt balls over to clear their lines, and they were forced into some dangerous errors. You look at Akeche being dispossessed by Rowe, losing the ball, Bunbury winning it, and then playing in Panilla, who breaks in on goal and scores. You look at the second goal. The second goal is simply about Fagundes just working hard, pressing Bradley, then pushing it back to Bono, pressing him as well. Bono does step ahead and beat him, but he plays the ball to Akeche, and this time it's another midfielder stepping into the play, winning the ball, and then it's Panilla firing his shot past Bono, who was off his line. And you have to look at that and just think, this is just poor execution from TFC. You're being pressed, you're being bogged in, hoof the ball over, regain your space. Eventually they can't press forever. It's just unsustainable, and that's where they went down. That was one issue where they went down. So they were pressing throughout the first half. TFC were obviously trying to do the same thing from the offset. You saw Ricketts and you saw Hamilton step to the center backs. They were obviously trying to win the ball in higher positions and move the ball quicker. It's just that New England did it with more verve. They looked fresh and they got to TFC in that aspect, but that wasn't only it. That was a key component to why TFC struggled in this game. But when you have to look at it from another aspect, just the defending was poor, and you have to think that Hernandez and Bradley isn't your natural center back partnership, but this is just simple runs from Bunbury, and he exploited them. He had the pace, he had the strength. His finishing may not be there, but if you put him in these positions, he's gonna get opportunities. Simple chance where Rowe picks up the ball, he's closed down, gets away from his marker. It's Bunbury just making the spinning run off the defender, played in free on goal, somehow takes his shot over the net. How does that happen? Who knows? We look at another opportunity where it's just simply Fagundes dropping off a bit deeper, clipping a loose ball over the defense. No one tracks the run. Bradley eventually sees it get shrugged off, breaks free on goal, rounds Bono, but is unable to get a shot off, and then clips the ball to Fagundes, who continues the run into the box, but he nods his effort into the side netting. You think about these chances and you think that they're so simplistic. How does TFC get themselves into these issues? There's one here where Bunbury again, it's holding off a defender, plays in Caldwell, who drives forward, free on goal, plays in, I think it was Fagundes or it was Rowe, plays them free on goal, should score, they don't score as well. This was a half based on basically the pressing, overwhelming TFC. They were unable to really get on the ball and start play from deep, which is what they want from Delgado, Akeche, and Bradley in those positions. And from the other aspect, it's about just making simple darting runs in behind. That's what Bunbury was doing. Williams had no answer for it. Bradley had no answer for it. They were pushing players forward. There was space into the channels. TFC struggled from that aspect. What did they do right in the first half? One of the benefiting moments from them was that they had Farrell on the right. They didn't want Farrell to track Osorio always into that space because they did have Telfer who could bomb down the left. So eventually it was Osorio finding the ball between the lines, picking it up. On several occasions, on 2 occasions, he played it into Ricketts. One of the chances Ricketts didn't control properly. The other chance he should score, forces a save from the keeper. There's one chance where Osorio received the ball there again, plays it into Hamilton from that space. Hamilton fires a shot at the keeper as well, but that was where they were getting their joy. Obviously down the right, there were some chances where Akeshe was moving into that space, firing shots from distance on goal. Never really a shot that really threatened the keeper. You saw Chapman break into that space as well, but TFC struggled from that aspect in the first half. You think that if they go into the second half, they're only down 2-0, they could still recover because they did force the keeper to make a few saves within the first few minutes of the half. It's just the same thing again. Simple hoofed ball down this channel, fullback is high, you have Bunbury pick it up, hold off the defender that's running at him. He goes to Jason Williams, runs at him. Hernandez fires his shot on goal, past the keeper, 3-0. TFC in a whole lot of trouble. They kind of stuck to their laurels. They didn't really stray away from what they were trying to do, getting played down the right through Oro, through Chapman. Their goal came from that aspect. They had the center back, the fullbacks a bit narrow in the second half. You had Chapman kind of make that darting run. It was Delgado who located the pass. Basically what happened, he pulls it back, gets the cross in, Hamilton runs on goal, it hits off the defender, it goes in, own goal. But eventually TFC were forced to make some changes. They brought on Giovinco, they brought on Mavinga, Bradley moved into midfield, Giovinco went up front, that let Ricketts came off, Akeshe came off. Now we saw a different TFC, but what also helped was the fact that they dropped a bit deeper. Their pressing was not as energetic as it was in the first half. They were a bit deeper. TFC were able to really gain control of the game. Hamilton was playing a bit higher, looking to run in behind, looking to hold off defenders. Giovinco was floating. What happened there was now Bradley was able to get on the ball. Because there was no real press there, he was able to play diagonals. You look at the best chances that TFC created. It's a Bradley diagonal into Giovinco down the left, beats his marker, pulls it back for Chapman. Chapman fires his shot over the net. You think about another opportunity, more of a half chance, where Bradley clips a ball into Hamilton, knocks his effort wide. Not really testing the keeper, but it just shows that Bradley's passing range makes a difference. They brought on Vasquez. That didn't really change anything. New England had another chance down the right, again on the counterattack, where a cross is delivered into Bunbury, but just fires a shot wide. TFC eventually get a penalty. Giovinco scores. Then he gets sent off. Whether it was harsh or not, he was sent off, and that kind of ended the game. TFC struggled with the press. Their defense was all over the place. They couldn't deal with long balls and Bunbury's pace and strength. When they got back into the game, it was a bit too late, but the fact was that their pressing, New England's pressing drifted off. They were able to control the tempo, but this is another aspect to where teams can get at TFC. Whether Bradley was in there or not, we've seen Bradley be exposed to the press. When teams are gunning at him, closing down spaces quickly like New England did here, he struggles, but you have to think that TFC are going to get better once they get their center backs back to full shape and when they get their star players back. But at the moment, they need a win, and this was a great opportunity, and the defending here, even with the absentees, was just unacceptable. But let me know what you guys think. Meet me in the comments below. Don't forget I upload videos every day, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And that was your daily dose of the interviews.